Yo, what's up there, guys? Today we're just going to show you the basics around this software here. So yeah, all I'm going to do is check we're all up and running, and then we'll be good to go then. Actually, I did a stream a couple of days ago, I believe, and that went alright. Got a few views on it, so I thought, carry on, show you the basics, show you, I'll work my way up difficulty, so you can if you're working in a theatre or whatever with the ETC iron or a Geo, it's sort of Geo and the iron are quite similar. Yeah, I'll be able to show you through it. So all wicked, we're all going, so let's get started on this. So what we're going to do is so you've got sort of you can have three sort of screens up here. This is the number one. We're just going to get a nice big full workspace, and so this is sort of like, well, it just shows you everything that's live, called the live table. So here's your sort of like, well, not intelligent fixtures, so we Fresnels, profiles, all sorts like that. Also got hazer in these channels. So yeah, so I'll show you group one is our on the bridge in our front of house. These are all profiles. So that'll be our cold wash, and then group 2 is our warm wash, and they just bring you up the channels like so. That is in group 2, is it? I think that's a bit wrong. That is a bit, obviously that needs sorting out. I'll do that another time. I'm just going to put 14 through 99 at enter to make those not live. There we go. So yeah, and then here's all your, so you got your cobs. So these are our intelligent fixtures, really. Just get rid of that. So you got cobs here. These are the start of the channel from channel 100, and then you got short of a rogue R1 spots. There, that tells you all the information you need to know about the spots. And if you come down, you got your rogue R2 washes, and then we got two Roby. Oh no, they're beam spots. Oh, these are. I think these are things we don't actually have in the rig at the moment. Here's your two Roby 575s, and then we've got 4 Q washes. So yeah, that's sort of the rig. I can show you what it's like on our magic sheet. So that's sort of what you got going on. That's the rig we're sort of playing with. So first, I'll talk you through palettes. So you have a few different types of palettes. So you've got your intensity palettes, focus palettes, color palettes, beam palettes. So we'll start with focus palettes. So these are mainly for moving lights. So if you got a focus, say, on the stage, and you like that focus, you can just go and record that focus palette. So then if your movers are in a, if they've gone home, all you'd have to do is go group whatever your fixture group is, and then type your focus palette. So you've got quite a few focus palettes in at the moment. I'm just on my way of programming. So these are already in up to there, and then all these I've got to program when I get in. But so obviously you've got a gobo stage spread, gobo stage and apron spread, center stage, breakup, stage wash, all these for the R1s, R2s, and you've got Q washes and then a couple of Robies as well. So that's all wicked there. So that's sort of your focus palettes, and you've got beam palettes as well, which is sort of like what the gobo is, what the focus is, and everything to do with the beam. So you just got a few in there at the moment, but I've got to get all these done. I can't actually remember what's what. 50. I think these are for all the Robies. If we go and have a look on our gobo magic sheet thing, well, the intelligent magic sheet, which is there. So there you go, got all your gobos. So that'll be, it'll tell you what it is. So I don't know why it's been padded at 11, but I'm going to escape out of that and then go back into a magic sheet and have a look. So you should have, so that's been padded 50, that's been padded, that's not a beam palette, okay, that's been padded 66. So that's a bit weird that obviously they haven't been linked. So I'm just going to quickly edit this. That is macro 96. Let's make that proper. Do that again. Yeah, that should be fine. Group 9 effect. That ain't right either. Obviously we've only linked either. I have to ungroup these a second. Okay, that just says open, and that's a macro, but it's not the right macro. Okay, that's macro 1 now. I don't know what beam palette is. I reckon it's beam palette 66. I reckon. It's my guess. Macro 60. Oh, it's not. Oh, bollocks, it's not going to be beam palette. Oh, it will be beam palette 66 if I put a beam palette in. I can't do that, it has to be macro. Hold on, 2 seconds with me. Didn't realise I made the mistake in the magic sheet. Should be at the bottom here. Here we go, open. 296, it is 296. Macro 296. I'm going to make that macro 296 as well. Without a field on it. Okay. I think I fixed that. You should have. Yeah, there we go. Wicked. So yeah, so these are all our beam palettes. So you got beam palette. This is sort of how you link it in. So this is the first beam palette, which is that gobo, and then we've got more beam palettes over here, which I haven't actually put in yet. But I think I've, if I'm right, maybe I haven't linked them up yet. No, they haven't got any macros on them. But that's all your beam palettes. So you can have zoom in, zoom out, zoom sort of halfway, hard focus, soft focus, and a half in between. And then obviously I'll take you to the focus palettes as well. So this sort of tells you where the lights are going. So you've got all your intelligent lights that move there. So you've got stage, cross stage, option 2, apron, cross apron. So the cross, the beam, the crossed. Stage and apron, drum slash centre stage. So we sometimes have a drum riser at centre stage. You've got the walls and the mirror ball. And there's no boxes for those two because they can't hit that. And same with the Robies, they can't. Well, there's no point putting those because they need a pair. So yeah, that's that. And that's focus palettes and beam palettes. Colour palettes, it's just basically the colour in the fixture. So you got white. If I do a split screen, I'll sort of show you what they do. Let's get ML controls. So obviously you can got your white, you got your red. It's basically just selection. So that's colour palette 3, colour palette 4, and then the macro is just telling it what to do. We'll go through macros in a bit. So that's your colour palettes there. So yeah, colour palettes is well, palettes in general is just the focus, the beam, and the colour. The intensity is obviously just the intensity. So yeah, now I might as well run you through this magic sheet because that's what I'm talking about quite a lot. If you look at my last stream, this is what I was doing on this magic sheet here. I was working on the gobo selection, which this is all done now. Just got to do the R1s, but I don't know what exact gobos are in those, so I need to find that out before I can do that. So let's just get a big screen again and actually go to our magic sheet. So yeah, that's that. So let's go on to the magic sheet. So we've got 2 magic sheets. This is the one that was already in. I didn't make this. So this is basically all your channels. So I don't know, you can select that channel and do whatever to it. So it just tells you what you got on the rig, what the channel numbers are, etc, etc, etc. Basically, it's pretty simple. Just tells you the rig. A lot of people that are learning the Ion software, you will have a rig plan, I'm guessing. And this is just basically on the Ion, so it's in there. So you can select that channel, do whatever, or you could select a few channels if you wanted. I want all of those channels, you know what I mean. And we can just clear that, make sure we don't actually do anything to them. And that's basically it. So that's the magic sheet basically, and then so basically sort of it does whatever really. It's just like a coded thing. So this is my magic sheet that I'm working on at the moment. It's not a rig plan or anything. It's basically, I haven't named it yet, but I'm going to call it probably intelligent lighting control because it controls all the intelligent lights on the rig. So this is your colour selection, your effect selection, focus palette, beam palettes, and this is sort of just a general control. So all the fixtures go home, they could strobe. So I haven't done a strobe effect, and strobe's a little bit different because these are sort of moving effects. I put a strobe down there and a stop all effect button just in case, which just does that. So yeah, that's pretty. It's just basically writing macros as a button. It's hard to explain what it does, but that's basically what it does. But yeah, these so let's take you through macros, which is sort of the background of this magic sheet. So these, I thought I had a macro, here it is. So these are all the macros that are currently in use. So basically, when you're operating the ion, if you want, say, group 7, you want it to be in a white colour. So instead of going group 7 into your master moving light controls, you can do that as a command line. So for example, if you want all your, say in our rig, all our R1s in white, you'd have to go group 7, enter, it will bring up the moving light controls, and then you go and select white. Now that's quite a long thing to do if you're running a live show and you want to change the colour of the lights. Instead of having to type in the command line, you can do it all on a button in a macro. So let's get up to all our colours, which are up here. So basically you have to start the macro, say we want to record that light to go white as a macro. You'd have to go and record the colour palette, and then you got to say, and then in the macro you're basically saying what you want and what palette you want basically, and then you want to hit enter and then control enter to finish the macro. Also you do have a learn button, so you can click learn, do what you want, and then click learn again, it will learn what you've just done, but I like to do it manually. And it sort of tells you what we got here. So you got all your R1s colours, all your R2 colours, all your Q washes, all your cobs, and all your robies, and then you've got all the colours as well. And it's basically just the command line all in one in a button. So you can tell it to do effects. So say if you want all your moving lights to do a figure of 8 in our rig, that is effect 903. So instead of doing group 7 plus group 8 plus group 9, or group 7 through group 11, effect 903, enter. Instead of doing that whole thing that takes you a few, 5-6 seconds, you do one button, which doesn't even take you a second. And that's the same with a macro. So macro is pretty self-explanatory. If you don't know command lines or anything, if you're literally just starting up, I wouldn't go anywhere near this macros, don't go near macros or anything like that. Just start from the basics, which is type in yourself. You want to learn the command lines, learn what you've got on your desk before you start trying to create stuff. So all your effects and stuff. So we'll start on effects in a minute, but all your colour palettes and stuff, you want to learn what you got and what you need and start making and start using the colours and stuff, and do it manually, and then you sort of work your way up, sort of, just so you can learn the desk instead of running it all off buttons. Because then if you want to, someone that comes in, a client comes in, asks you for, I want this colour, I want this focus palette, I want it focused here, and you don't know actually how to do all that, then you're pretty stuffed. So that's my best advice. Let's go on to effects. So an effect, don't do that, don't do any of that, what you doing? So effects, I think there's 5 types of effects, so let's go and create, let's just go for it, we don't have a 25, so 5 types of effects. You've got a step-based, absolute, focus, a linear, and a colour. Those are sort of self-explanatory. These are less. So focus is obviously a focus effect. Linear's what is a linear effect? It's 903. Let's have a look what effect 903 is. Okay, focus is sort of movement. I'm trying to think what linear is. I'm not too sure on that actually. So I'll look at that too. Give me 2 secs. Okay. Now I know. So focus and linear are the similar things, I think. Linear is obviously one effect, so pan up and down, left and right on a straight line sort of effect. Or focus is two or more parameters. I'm guessing, that's my guess. But if we want to go and create, say, a simple park and chase, you want a step-based effect because it will go through the steps in your effect. So you go and click step-based, and then basically you got your step, which is number 1, and then if you want to go another step, you just page down, which is that one. So let me do that. Yeah, step 2, step 3, and that's how you just create 5 steps. So you select your channels. So in our, say, your blue park ends are group 8. Actually, no, let's do that. Group 2. Okay. Your blue park end, that's your blue park end. Your red park ends are group 3. So you put group 3 and it will give you all the channels. And blue and group 4, which is your the other colour park ends. And then you tell it what you want it to do. So obviously you got the colour in already in the gel. So you click your parameters, so you want intensity, and that's it. And then you do all these parameters, so it would go, you know, it would go on, off, and then if I actually take it to effect 1, let's just get out of this. If I can remember what I'm doing, gives you channels. Oh, and it shows you what it's doing. These don't actually have any parameters, so I think that effect isn't. Okay, maybe they don't. I'm not too sure about that. But basically, it's a step effect. These are supposed to be like Parkan chases, but they don't look like Parkan. Okay, some of these are a bit weird and not actually. That hasn't actually got any in so much. I'm going to go quickly delete. So yeah, effects are just learning from it. If you want to create your own effects, just start learning from step base. So you select your channel, select your parameters, for example intensity, and then you go through the steps you want to take. It's pretty in your head. You think, okay, what lights I want in that step, what do you want them doing in that step, and it will just run through the steps in order, and then you can time it. If you do the overall time, it will split it between your steps evenly. So say if you do 5 seconds, you've got 5 steps, it will be a second for each step, and so on. And that is literally just from learning. So that's effects on a sort of whole. So this video is sort of showing you sort of touching on each bit in the desk, and then later on I'll stream about effects, about focus palettes, about beam palettes, more and more information. I'm just trying to give you an overview of everything at the moment, so let's just get out of those. So yeah, ML controls, let's take you through moving light controls. It's pretty simple, but you haven't used it before. It just takes a bit of getting used to. So let's bring up, so these are our movers, these are our sure R1s, and then master ML control, sort of a purple link there, and it sort of brings you up everything that you can control, moving light controls. So first of all, you've got your intensity, so they're actually on at the moment, but you can turn them off, or you can drag that wheel or whatever. This, you can move the light, pan and tilt like that, or you will have wheels normally on the IO, and you got pan tilt wheels as well. Obviously don't have this on my laptop. Features, position feature, I haven't used that yet, so that's something you just have to click and see what it does basically. Position speed, I think that's how long it takes to get to this position. Position macro, and you've got all these macros that do not use position macros, so I won't be able to tell you about them. And then here you got your colour selection. It's a colour wheel, so these are all the colours you got, so you won't be able to choose from gels or anything like that. That's all for LED fixtures. So you got your open, you can take it home, which is your open red, all those, or you can do a spin, and that'll spin through the colour wheel anti-clockwise, it is minus, or you want to spin it clockwise, so on and so forth. Or snap. The iris, obviously that's open, iris is open, or you can pulse it, or you can pulse it open, pulse close. That's sort of the way the circle opens and closes. Edge is your focus, hard and soft focus on the beam. Your shutter, you got your shutter open, shutter close, strobe, pulse, pulse close, pulse plus, R&D. Those are stuff to play around to see what your movers do. Gobos, gobos. You've got 2 gobo wheels on the R1, so it gives you your 2 wheels. You got 7 on that one, 8 on that one. Some of them spin, some of them don't. I think they both spin, but in different ways. But you can overlay gobos, so you want 2 gobos on top of each other. That also creates an effect. Or if you time it right, you can spin the gobos at the same time as the colours. So each gobo would be a different gobo and a different colour. Or you can just select your ones. And what I'm going to do on my magic sheet is get all the pictures of what these gobos actually are, and then you can select it and then overlay and whatnot. Beam effects, that's rotation of the gobo, or rotation of the beam. That's open effects, that'll be your split 3 gobo. That's rotation, and that's pretty much what your R1s do. But that's mainly about this moving light controls. If you don't know, sorry. If you don't know your moving lights, you just need to play around with them. Just sit down for an hour, play what they do, see what effects you got, see what you want to create, and stuff like that. Make a to-do list of what you want to do in the future, stuff like that. So that's moving light controls. And that is pretty much an overview of the desk, of the control side of it. I'll quickly show you through the patch. The patch is obviously something you need to start with to get going. So this is our patch here. I wish you could get down this list quicker, but it's not going to let me do that. And you touch the patch, it's alright. And then so basically there's types of different types. Obviously this is your fixture type. So this is a dimmer because it's a dimmer, because it's just a Fresnel or whatever is on channel 62. Basically we patch 1 to 1, but you can do 100 series. So for example, you have Mac 101s, they could be in your 100 series, Mac 250s because you'd be in 200 series. So instead of patching it 1 to 1, you could do it in 100 series, so you know all your Mac 1s are in from 100 and so on, but we patch 1 to 1. So yeah, these are all our Fresnels, profiles, Parkans, sort of some of them are labelled there. And then these are our cobs, so they're from channel 100 to 107 because they need 7 channels, well 8 channels, sorry. And you go down, and then you got your R1s that need 19 channels. And if you look, we actually run two universes, which I'll talk about universe in a minute because of how much channels our R2s take up, because they're pixel wrapped. So these take 56 channels, so these wipe out half of universe 1. So let's keep going down. Wish I could scroll down faster. So basically if you want to patch it in at 431, it knows it's got 56 channels. You just type address 431 and it automatically put all the channels you'll need. And when you do patch, make sure you don't cross patch, because that can mess things up a little bit. For example, that beam spot which you don't have in is actually cross patched with those which we don't have in the rig either, but that's okay because we don't have them. And then you got your colour spots at the end, at the start of the next universe. So you have 512 channels on a universe. So we have 2 new universes, that gives us 1024 channels. So here's your colour spots, which take up quite a bit of quite a few channels. And then you got Q washes, which take a little less than the R2 as well, quite a lot less because they don't have pixel maps. And then I believe that's our strobe, yeah, that's our strobe. It's actually patched. So basically if you're starting from scratch, you need to patch. Obviously you want to address your fixtures. You want to address your fixtures to be able to control them. So it's basically patched. So basically you got your channel and the address. So say obviously we've addressed that Q wash to channel 104, and it will take it automatically in the thing, take up how many channels it needs. But if you want it on channel 621, you go to channel 621, type in the address and type in the fixture type. Now you should have a fixture library on the desk, if not you'll have to import them USB. All our fixtures are in the desk. So yeah, that's patch sort of over globe. It's basically just telling what channel you want for what fixture, basically. All ours is mainly 1 to 1. So yeah, that's patch, which will escape out of that. So yeah, that's pretty much overall the ETC EOS. It's pretty simple. If you have done lighting before, it's pretty, self-explanatory. You just got to learn by doing, learn by making mistakes, which is the best way, I believe, learning lighting. Obviously you don't want to make huge mistakes, but if you're ever, not actually running the show, you've got an hour to your own, just do stuff, see what happens and learn from it. And you learn when you're doing shows, you want, instead of trying to drag movers to places, you just do that focus palette. And if you have focused movers to one point that you don't have a focus palette, so just record that focus palette just in case, label it of what it is so you don't forget what you've recorded, because you may need it in the future and you may not, but it's good to have that instead of wasting that time. Because when people come in for shows, when you're plotting, they might not have a lot of time. I've done a show before where plotting was right half an hour before doors were opening. It was manic. It was quite a lot. It was mainly just running off subs in the end, but quite a lot of it was done. It was a different style to what we normally have, so a lot of it wasn't in focus palettes, so a lot of it needed focusing, focusing, moving lights and stuff. But obviously after that I recorded those focus palettes just in case we need something, or you can work off a focus palette if you want it in that general area. You put it in the general focus palette and then you move them to focus them to how you want them. So that is the ETC Ion Overglow. To save your show file, you just open the menu at the bottom here, and then you just got File and Save. And I'm going to save as, because this isn't the generic. I'm going to put it in Show File Archive. I'm actually going to put it in Data and Work, and then I can name it. I'm just going to put see, I'm good at typing it. My show file, and that will say that, and then it should be called. So if I go to here, and that saved it, double save just in case, and then I want to go File. Let's just get rid of that. Open Data. And then when you're opening show files, say you got saved, if you just say if you've recorded over subs and you want just the subs back, and you don't want to, because obviously this show file hasn't got, well, it's got everything, but if you've got your update, say if you've recorded focus palettes, but you've recorded over subs and you haven't saved it, I'm not too sure, but sometimes you might need to load subs back in. You can just select your subs like that, or if you just want your colour palettes, so on and so forth. But I want to load in everything, and that'll just load in everything for me, and then that just names it there. So wicked. So that's sort of how Ion works. It's just a computer software, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just from doing is learning. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's sort of just the basics of the ETC Ion software. So just look out on my channel, subscribe, and there'll be more coming out in the future, showing you more in depth in parts and what palettes and whatnot in the Ion. So yeah, thanks for watching.